Hey everybody, this is Kohdok here, and you remember when I talked about Flesh and Blood, right? Where it's a card game that is yet another sword and sorcery game trademark. However, it is a very different kind of card game that managed to land both feet first in the very fertile ground for those who are hungry for new games. Because in Flesh and Blood, rather than being like these elegant commanders who have these armies that they control, instead you play as the warriors on the battlefield themselves. I referred to it as a slobber knocker simulator. It is a game made by an up-and-comer from the land down under. I mean, I think New Zealand counts as down under. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it is a game that instead is meant to simulate the very in-the-moment feeling of direct combat. Because with these cards, you don't like draw lands and slowly build up your resources. Instead, these hero cards are basically encouraged to burn through their entire hand of attack actions every turn, as you basically draw back up to full every round. So it's a lot more in the moment style of fighting. And another unique thing about it is that every single card has a resource value. This is called pitch. I didn't refer to that in the video I had. However, the generally accepted name is pitch, and you can see I have my my steampunk hat over here because the character in these cards are wearing the same steampunk hat. But you have red pitch, yellow pitch, and blue pitch, and what happens is each of these are able to contribute more or less resources to pay the card cost. For example, this one has a cost 2. I could discard a yellow pitch to pay for it, a blue pitch to pay for it, and have one left over to pay for something else, or I'd have to discard 2 red. Now, the red pitch tend to be more powerful. They tend to deal more damage than the yellow or blue versions of themselves, and so while they are stronger, they also provide less resources. That's the balancing mechanic. You have to make sure that you have a decent variety of these types to your deck. It's like I said, it's a pretty interesting concept. It's a lot of fun. It also has a draft version where each character also comes with a younger version of themselves that has half the number of health, but the exact same abilities otherwise. So it's designed to draft. You draft with 3 packs, you build a deck of only 30 cards instead of 60, and you have it out that way. So the game was introduced with Welcome to Wrath, with for example the Rhinar deck here, the Brute. The Brute is a very fun card. He's sort of a big bully. He has attacks that consistently deal high damage, 6 or more, and have the ability Intimidate, that lock down an opponent's cards that prevent them from defending from the attacks. He's a big bully. He's a lot of fun. He was introduced in Welcome to Wrath, and following Welcome to Wrath, we got Arcane Rising. This was another set that introduced the caster characters such as Dash the Mechanologist, and that's what I have the hat here for. She is also a lot of fun. She has an ability where you can send the top card of your deck to the discard pile to give any of your Mechanologist attacks go again through the boost mechanic. Now, of course, there are ways to control these. You can manipulate your deck. Rhinar has a bunch of abilities that go off if you randomly discard a card from your hand that's an attack with 6 or more power. So if you make it so that all of the cards in your deck have at least 6 power, that'll always go off. Same with Dash. You can make her deck 100% out of Mechanologist cards, so that boost always triggers. So you can do some control over that. Following this, I wasn't able to get my hands on any of it, but they had the expansion set Crucible of War, which contained support cards for all of the classes that had been made available up until now. The 4 melee classes introduced in Welcome to Wrath, the 4 ranged and magic classes introduced in Arcane Rising, but now we are coming upon something interesting, because the guys at Legend Story Studios have sent me a box with specific instructions to not open it until today. So this, I believe, is connected to the new expansion set, which is called Monarch. And we are going to take a look inside of what we have here. All right, okay, so we have a lot of good stuff in here. Ooh, we got, that's interesting. We also got a poster and, what appears to be a playmat. So, clearing a bit of space here, we have our new playmat for the set Monarch. Ooh, I wish I could get it better in the shot, but we got this guy who's looks to be some kind of god striking down a castle. Best civilization on Earth. Too bad. All right, so I have been sent one of the many preview cards for this set, including a nice little message. I wonder what this could be about. Kohdok. When war darkens the horizon and all hope seems lost, rejuvenate your soul with the blessings of the light. Let your courage and devotion illuminate the path to victory. Ooh, I wonder what that could mean. So, let us take a look. So I have been sent some preview cards. These are cards unique to the Monarch set. They, I believe, are tied to a new character class that they are introducing. All right, so I know you guys have been waiting for a long time, but in this really surprisingly thick top loaders, I didn't know they made them like that. We have Herald of Tenacity. So this is a new action. It is a light Illusionist action. So Illusionist is new. That is a new class we are looking at here. I believe it is associated with the hero Prism, who was introduced in the new set. In fact, I think that poster... yep. There she is. That's Prism, the light illusionist introduced in the new set. She got a reveal a couple of days ago, so I can thankfully tell you all about her. She is a light illusionist who is capable of summoning the image of the different heralds. Okay, they're all the same card, but they're the ones with the different pitches. So we have... so it comes in all three different pitches. We got the red pitch, the yellow pitch, and the blue pitch. Herald of Tenacity's ability is Dominate. That means it can only be defended with one card. It also has the effect if Herald of Tenacity hits, which means if it does any damage at all, put it face up under your hero card. So it goes into your hero's soul. So that's the mechanic for these new things. These are called talents. Now, Light and Shadow are receiving what are called talents in this set, and what these talents are is they're essentially an additional card pool. They're essentially like a multi-class type character. However, that sounds cool. They get a bunch of new cards, a bunch of new options. However, that comes with it its own risks and penalties. For example, Reinar, the ability is a regular brute. He's a vanilla brand brute. He has an ability that when you discard a card with a power of 6 or more, your next action gains Intimidate, so he's able to get a bonus from that. However, the Shadow Brute, which comes out in the Monarch set, has to do the exact same thing in order to stave off the blood toll penalty. So Reinar gets a bonus, the Shadow Brute has to stave off a penalty. So in the case of Prism here, you have to add cards to her soul with her special ability, which in a lot of cases uses the charge ability, which means you have to send a card from your hand under the soul, a card that can now not be used to attack with or defend with or pay other resources with. It's going into the soul, and then she uses cards from her soul to generate tokens that allow her to absorb a point of damage. For an easy comparison, we of course have Viserai, whose special ability creates a rune chant token when he satisfies an effect. But here's the thing, is Viserai's rune chant ability it creates a token that's basically the opposite of Prism's shield tokens, which prevent damage. They do 1 damage. They do a ping of damage at the end of during their turn. But Viserai gets to do it for free. Prism has to pay for cards out of her soul. So again, they seem to have a lot of really powerful effects. However, that's one thing that makes Herald of Tenacity so interesting, is Herald of Tenacity adds itself to your soul for free as part of its effect. So it's able to help balance that out as a powerful effect. But it does come with a penalty, and that is the ability Phantasm, which says that if a player blocks, and they can only block with 1 card due to Intimidate, but they block with a card that has a damage of 6 or greater, for example, good old Reinar's Pack Hunt, then the attack fails and the chain ends. So it's a risky attack. It's a strong attack that thanks to Dominate might prevent an opponent from being able to block it effectively if they try to just block the damage. However, if they block with a card that has an attack of 6, so for example, Brute certainly has the advantage against this here. Silly illusion, not work on big muscles. Then they are able to shut that ability down. So high risk, high reward. It definitely has its strengths and its weaknesses. 6 damage for 2 is pretty typical, but the fact that it charges itself for free basically gives it a bit of that balance. So the idea is that she's actually invoking the image of the heralds of the god soul. So like I said, this is a game where normally it's mano a mano fighting, but the idea is that as an illusionist, she's summoning angels to do her fighting for her, which creates this, which is, I imagine, is like a terrifying thing to behold, unless you're, you know, big and stupid and just punch the thing. But hey, yeah, that is a look at the preview for Monarch, Herald of Tenacity. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully we'll be able to do some more in the future. I got a brand new mat to do reviews on, and I got this nice poster which is going on my wall. I was asking them for a poster for a while, and I finally got one, and I'm happy to be a part of this. So yeah, that is my preview card for Flesh and Blood Monarch, and until next time, this is Kohdok signing off.